Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game 2 of
Right.
the PMA LCS. Looks like we're already into the draft. They did not wait for us, but that's okay. That's their thing. We are going to be in the draft, just in bands. So Legends on top on the blue side this time. So, Allie, what do you want to see for Game 2 Legends on top? Any adjustments that they should make for pick ban?
Yeah, no, I don't think that their pick ban was bad at all.
Okay.
I think it was just fine, honestly.
There's more execution.
I think that it makes more sense to not blind your top lane if you don't have to, because it wound up just giving him the worst matchup possible. So don't do that.
So,
But other than that, I think it was a pretty solid pick ban phase from them.
So we do have a change though in the first and the second big ban. So they actually swap out. Let's see, what are they? Oh, they banned the Kaisa game 1, and now they're banning the Misfortune game 2. It looks like they're going to lock in Rakan here. Possibly. Ezreal also a possibility. Yeah, so Ezreal's a good blind pick, I think, for Murphy Rade. It was either that or the Ashe. I was kind of looking for some more consistent damage. That was the only problem that I had with their overall draft game 1 was the lack of, they just had burst and not really consistent damage, but that does leave the Kaisa open for Kim Peters, so definitely looking to style on the competition with his Kaisa. Definitely his main champion.
Yeah.
Super strong pick too, so
I respect the Ezreal blind. You know, it's not like it's crazy strong right now, though.
true. And it's just more of a safety blind, I guess. It is very good with the Divine Sunderer build. I think that build is super underrated, and it's definitely strong when you get your items. But
I like the Vi again, though. The Vi looked really good last game.
So definitely playing towards their strength of last game. Vi was a solid pick, and will be a little bit harder to get onto the Ezreal than the Jhin, but definitely going to be a good if they play it if Frontlash plays it the way they did or he did game 1. It should be just more used as a turning and fighting after Legends on top uses their resources. So it looks like the bot lane of Legends on top is going to be Ezreal Rakan. So kind of interesting. Not usually a lane combo you see, because Rakan kind of wants
bad,
to go
honestly.
in. Yeah. Rakan,
I'm the more direct, sorry.
no, it's okay. Rakan definitely does want to go in, and Ezreal doesn't necessarily. But I think that they're not going to pick these champs for the lane. I think Legends on top, just knowing where they want their champions to, or where they want their lane assignments to be, are going to be probably leaving the Ezreal to either farm 1v2 or having just the Rakan for the team fights, because they do have the Rakan Orianna. That's the other piece of that. So good setup for the ball, and looking for just big shockwaves. I think that's the logic behind the Rakan, not necessarily the 2v2 pairing.
Well, I was thinking they were going to ban Malphite, and they did immediately.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And the Sylas actually coming out, even though I think that part of what made the Sylas good was the Malphite and the Sejuani picks.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Like,
I mean, probably didn't have to ban Sylas there, but Graves going to get taken away from the count, and could see another Sejuani game. I don't think that Sejuani was that bad game 1. I think that it was more just the execution. And
I just
Darius
don't think
taken
it
away.
looks as good here because they don't have any melees at all. But so she can't proc her stun nearly as consistently.
True.
But
It is the Shin out of Among Us, so that is an OG Philman pick, or Shrimp Peter.
I think that Shen is a fantastic blind.
True.
But at the same time, you already see the Orianna. So why not counter the Orianna and then give your top lane counter pick? I don't understand these people. But
It could be a Shin support and Seraphine in mid. That's the other. I think that Symphonia John does play that champ, so it could be kind of flexed there. But I don't think the Tambourine King actually plays Shin. So I think they're just
you
giving
know what I mean. It seems like a Shin blind when they didn't have to. They did the thing again, but actually other way around. The Bangas did the thing.
Yeah, I think they're just giving mid like the ultimate counter. Like
Just... Lee Sin looks good here though.
Oh, so it's gonna be the Lucian, possibly into the Oriana. I don't know how that matchup goes, actually.
I don't understand why you would do that. Ultimately, like Lucian definitely, that matchup is good for Lucian early, but I mean, almost every matchup is good for Lucian early. True. Inherently. So So Abangas is lacking magic damage.
Yes. But Kai'Sa can provide that. I think a lot the more meta build for Kai'Sa is just to get your 3 max abilities, like getting the Nashor's Tooth and then going into AP is a little bit more common, but is not necessarily given either.
So. Yeah. I guess at a point they'll have reasonable amounts of magic damage. It's also not like Legends on Top's comp can't generally itemize AD extremely well.
True, and the Lee Sin is kind of the wild card pick here. It's definitely a champion that if you're proficient on it and you really know what you're doing, you can be really effective. But I know a lot of Lee Sins have been struggling with like itemization as far as like what's your mythic, because he doesn't really have a solid one to build that really just screams this is Lee Sin's thing. So interested to see what he builds, and also just how they're going to play around that pick potential. It just seems like there's always just that one pick that doesn't like, but for both of these comps it's just like there's just like the one pick that just doesn't fit with the rest of the what the team wants to do. I feel like
exactly.
For Legends on Top that's Lee Sin, and for Among Us that's the Lucian. I think you have the Shin and Vi want to go in, and the Seraphine and Kai'Sa to peel back and be the back line, provide follow up, and I think that the Lee Sin doesn't really want to do what the Galio and Rakan and Oriana want to do. So it's just kind of interesting to see what. I don't know.
Well, for me, when I think about PMA LCS drafts, I ask myself, it's like, what if I want there to be this really interesting X factor, then I always want it to be on my strongest players.
Yes.
So if I'm going to be last picking Lucian, I'm probably generally not going to be last picking it for a player that is generally going to be having a hard time in the matchup that they're playing in. So for me, for that reason, it seems kind of odd to want to lean on this Lucian that doesn't fit the comp very well overall, or even, I think the same idea applies to the Lee Sin here. It certainly doesn't seem like a hard Viscount. Ooh, I like the thought from Cornstar though, saying that it could be a Lucian top and Shin support.
Yeah, so Lucian does have a good matchup into the Galio, and we could see OG Philman play the Vi this game, and Frontlash take the Lucian top lane into the Galio, and then the Seraphine be mid. That honestly, I really like the Seraphine pick a lot better into the Oriana than the Lucian. I think that matchup.
I also
is
have
so
seen John play a lot of Seraphine, or rather, it's a Bison or whatever his name is right now.
It's Symphonia John, I think.
Yeah.
I'm calling Shrimp Peter OG Philman because twitching using the word SIP is Yikes! So
Yeah, it's just a major cringe
yeah.
is that the word I'm looking for. But yeah,
So I just can't use that on stream. So yeah. So OG Film Man could potentially be taking the Vi here. They have locked it in the way that we first were talking about it, though. So cringe will be banned next. Be careful. Yikes, dude.
I'm being as careful as I can be, Cornstar.
So they have. Oh wait, no, they were supposed to change by 20. So I guess it is gonna be how we the less optimal comp we thought.
I mean, I guess it's fine. Like, I believe in Symphonia, John. It is ultimately stronger laning phase for Lucian for probably the first, 8 levels or something, 9 levels.
Right.
So he's got quite a window that he can potentially punish.
Okay. And so another development is Lee Sin is going to be played by Legends. And
what is going on this game? I'm so confused.
Account is going to be on the Orianna. So,
okay. It is actually Legends' turn to try out the jungle role. I like this adaptation, spice it up.
Yeah, so I think that I've seen Legends play Lee Sin, so I was kind of thinking that, but I was just like, nah, they're just gonna. I don't know. Accounts jungle pool too, so I don't know if it was something that they just wanted for their comp or what. But I think that I just don't know about that pick yet. I'm kind of not sold on it.
Well, we talked about always saving X Factor champions for your strongest.
True.
So I think that in a way it makes sense. Looking at 3 champions that Lee Sin should be able to blow up pretty easily if he does just choose to go damage. I think it's spicy.
Yeah, and you do have the insurance more of the Orianna and the Ezreal is your kind of late game insurance for that side. So they could potentially scale that way, but 2 ADCs on the side of Among Us and scaling Kaisa is definitely scary to look at. So it's gonna be pretty much who can take the lead in this game first, I think. Because once your late game people start getting online, it's going to be harder and harder to come back.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look up at a matchup like Vi Lee Sin, it's always going to be that way.
Right.
These 2 champions really only go forward. So.
And I think the bot lane is going to be the hot spot this game for both teams, it looks like, with the Shen and the Galio having some... Galio being pseudo-global, but can definitely make plays around the bot lane if he just kind of backs and walks down there. So...
Yeah, is Galio top even a thing? I haven't seen this. But
he's been more mid. I think that's probably just a Guy Fieric champion. So it's more played in the mid. But I think that it's kind of going to do the same thing, mid and top. He's probably going to build a little bit more tanky than he would in mid. But
yeah. I mean, that's my thought process is you can't build Proto Belt, so...
Yeah, you're going to be a lot squishier if he builds the Proto Belt versus just building more tanky.
Seems like that champion's bad if he doesn't build Proto Belt, though. So, I don't know. Things that'll make you go. But...
Things that'll make you go. Among Us go burr. Okay, and we are already into the game. The fastest loading screen in the West. Gonna pause at 10 whenever it lets me pause. Get this show on the road, as the kids say. I don't think the kids actually say that, but.
Another adaptation I like. Ignite out of Mr. Matt this game.
Yes. Much better than running heal. I'm paused to 10.
Yeah, sorry, my computer is
All good.
hot garbage and takes forever to load in.
I'm thinking there's going to be an invade from the side of Legends on top this time. They're pinging the mid, and they're going to look to go through mid, maybe. Lots of pings around there. So Mr. Matt has leveled W level 1. So, I mean, definitely signs of we're going to invade. So.
There we go. It finally loaded in. Okay.
Gotcha. No problem.
All right, go ahead.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. So, looking to see if they invade here. Pretty standard items. Ezreal does start with the tier. I don't know. I think that for most champions, I don't like starting tier. I think the Misfortune is okay, but I feel like you can just start Doran's and still stack it super quickly. Even if you start Doran's and then back for tier later. It stacks so much quicker when you hit champions with your abilities. I just think that it's a lot easier to stack overall. It's a weaker item, but easier to stack. I think that I like the Torrents better. But that's just, I guess, a personal preference. I just think I'm just afraid of being more squishy, I guess, in the lane phase. But,
I guess he looks over and he sees no ignite from
yeah,
Tambourine King.
And no real like hard all in either. So
yeah, like it is a poke sustain lane coming out of Among Us, so it's hard for them to force onto Murphy Rodette. So
I can
feels like he can easily stack that. Now, with that being said, I would have rather seen him go Cole first then.
Yeah, Cole or Dorn Shield is the only other thing I could think of, like against the for sustaining versus the Seraphine.
Well, the Cole also really spikes well with going tier second, because then you wind up getting your Cole and tier completed at around the same time. But
very true.
Yeah, I don't know. All minor differences, really.
Yeah, it's not something huge, but just a personal preference thing.
Yeah,
how you want to play the lane too.
He played really, really safe last game, so I guess that's why his perspective is he doesn't want to go early damage or health because he doesn't really care about getting the kill. But that kind of gripes with Mr. Matt going ignite in this laning phase. But already a lot of poke coming out onto them. Pretty brutal.
And the Shin level 1 and level 2 is very, very strong. Lots of positive trades, and especially with Grasp. Oh, Mr. Matt gonna blow W on the wave there and get punished for it, and he's just gonna get exploded by the likes of Kim Peter and Tambourine King. So definitely not respecting the early damage there. And I think he already had a couple of Kaisa passive stacks when he got those pops. So positive trade there for Symphonia John onto the Orianna. That is how Lucian wins that. Is just dodging out on the QW and then returning a bunch of poke back, or a bunch of trading back rather. Legends looking to gank mid, hoping that Symphonia John will step up. His E should be off cooldown now though, so it's going to be pretty safe as St. Peter taunts into Guy Fieric, and Guy Fieric's going to taunt him back and say, "No, me bigger man," and walk out. So, just overall some trading here, just 1-0, a little bit like a 1K gold lead. Still very, very, very early in the game. As OG Fieldman gonna land the taunt there and flash after Guy Fieric and take him down for the solo kill. So,
absolute disaster for Guy Fieric.
Yeah, and that's bad wave to die on too, because it's going to push back into the Shin as well. He's going to be able to set up a freeze here.
Yeah, well, he loses half this wave, and now he's like a full level behind. Oh, almost over it once this wave crashes.
As we see Symphonia John getting ganked in the mid, does have to blow his flash. He looked to trade onto the Orianna, but he was out of meta. Front Lash is here. He's gonna get the knock up onto Account. He's gonna try to walk out here. Doesn't flash, actually just dies to the Front Lash autos. So Kind of a misplay a little bit from Oriana. Had flash there, could have flashed, but I guess he didn't think he was going to do that much damage.
I think that if he
by.
was gonna flash, he had to flash the Q immediately.
Right.
Um,
Because once the Q hit, the red buff was applied, and just hard to just walk away. I guess in theory he was probably trying to proc the phase rush. We see the Shin taunt in and miss, and then get punished back from Galio. So the one thing that you don't want to do as Shin is taunt into these big waves without your W, and take a lot of minion damage, because that's how Galio can win the trade.
He still has TP here. I think that he's just trying to create any trade where he lives and come back and TP.
True. So he does. He is going to look to back here and TP in. Has enough, 1,200 gold, so he's going to look to get the Phage here. Probably Mr. Matt going in onto Kim Peter. Does blow his flash and just gets out. Legends setting up the gank there. And they blow the flash. But nothing else coming out of that. As we see, if they could look to freeze the wave here. And hopefully get some more pressure. Yes, they are getting a freeze, and it looks like Lee Sin's actually starting the dragon here. They don't actually see him. He went over the back of the pit, so they have no vision in the pit, just the scuttle crab. So as long as he doesn't move out of the pit, he's going to be able to sneak this one. It looks like Lucian might be walking down to check, potentially. But
here comes front lash too, actually.
He actually blows the smite, so he's not going to have smite. He's just going to...
Oh, no.
Oh, he's leashing this for them. Oh, he's leashing this for them.
Oh, this is the saddest thing.
Oh, no. That's unfortunate.
And they shockwave.
That is unfortunate.
I was about to say that this Drake is already bad, even if they got it, because Legends is already so behind in CS and tempo. But that just turned into, from like a kind of okay Drake to them getting Drake and being down 20 CS.
Yeah, it just unfortunate timing there. As we see, trading in the bot lane, nothing going to come out of that. Just some harassment, and
so, Legends and K is just crying right now.
Oh man. As we see the taunt miss from Shen and the taunt land on the Galio, but nothing coming out of that either. I'm just getting baited by all these plays. So, Harry trading in early game, never seen that one before. Yeah, he trades a lot. They all trade a lot. Top players.
I mean, he took Arcane Comet, so he better freaking trade.
Yeah.
But, yeah. You know, he's really, really regretting that past, like, 15 minutes.
Definitely, Lee Sin trying to just set up a lot of ganks and not really looking to farm, and it's definitely not paying off so far. But could easily be turned around with one really solid, successful gank for him.
Now he's full 2 levels behind though. Front lash walk his jungle here.
Yeah, at level 6, so he might get level 5 off of that camp.
Yeah, he does get it.
He does get it, and then front lash is gonna be here. They're gonna look to fight here with the Lucian, and yes, he's just gonna get ulted and not be able to get away. As we see the Shin dashing past the wave, taking some minion damage. He does pop the W. Guy Eric does hit level 7, gonna get him some health, but he's just still gonna walk out. And slightly positive trade there for Shin, but these top laners playing very aggressively into each other. It's like they just want to fight. I love it. So scrappy. But
I mean, it's really, really good for St. Peter at this point. Already a level ahead. Gonna be able to push this into turret. Knowing that Guy Fieric has no teleport here. Gonna secure a round of 20 CS lead for himself. Actually doesn't push it into turret. I'm just wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't quite hit there, and it was pretty risky to stay. Even if the Lee Sin is far behind, it's super risky to stay with the Galio having ult. He could have just got punished there really hard. So
I respect it.
Yeah, just
safe decision.
Unfortunate.
Guy Fieric's just gonna push anyway.
He's actually looking to. He's actually freezing it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it may hit the tower. No,
never mind.
Yeah, it got pushed back out, but.
Well, he pressed Q on the whole minion wave twice.
Yeah.
But he just wants to shove, which is fine, I guess. They want to set up for Rift Herald.
Yes, and looks like both of the junglers are going to be on that side of the map, and just kind of taking stock of the game. Oh, never mind, I can't do that because Tambourine King is going to press R and hit Mr. Matt, but overall nothing. Kaisa passive does get procced on the Murphy, but he does not go down. As we see the Shin trading into the Galio and just walking him down, auto-attacking, not quite anything coming out of that. And
this is a Triforce Shin, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, it's looking that. Does Phage actually? No, I think.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, Phage doesn't build into the Triforce anymore. That's the Divine Sunderer, I think, is what that's going to be.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah, it's a Sheen item, and I really like Sheen items with Shin. Just super easy to proc the Sheen passive with
this extremely greedy build, but a fight here.
Yes, he's going to go in onto Guy Fieric, and Guy Fieric is just not going to be able to walk out with the die there.
Guy Fieric is, and this lane being where it is, but
I want to say his flash just came up. I know it's showing that he has it, but I thought that I saw it on cooldown when Vi was ganking. As you see the Orianna Shockwave coming out in mid, and it looks like the Shin's here to turn it around, and Symphonia John's going to go down and Mr. Matt as well. So it's going to be so far a 2 for 1, and it looks like they're going to pick up Legends MK here for a 3 for 1. And this Vi is just like, why didn't you give me MVP game 1? Give me this MVP right now. All over the map, and
but St. Peter too, though.
True.
That ult, that taunt, dude. I mean, they're just running over this game. They're styling on him. Like, the play we just saw there seemed extremely desperate out of Legends on tap. Yeah,
definitely, and it was just they were going for the dive onto the Lucian and not really respecting the Shen ulti. I think that more communication could have been had about playing around that, and so they lose. It's 3 kills to 1, and they lose the dragon. So it's looking like a rough early game. They're gonna have to play more into their item spikes and their win conditions. Once Ezreal finishes his first item, it's gonna be a solid spike for him. And then the Orianna looks like she's gonna go for the Ludens build, so that will be a spike as well. But overall, Galio is trading a little bit more positively into the Shin now, as we see him go in, but he's just gonna get taunted back, and he's gonna try to fight the Shin in the wave. Just walking away now, and just overall just trading back and forth from these top laners, and Shin just coming out slightly ahead each time with that grasp, and overall just health regen. So, taking stock of the game, it is 8-1 in favor. Oh my gosh! As Shin misses the taunt, Guy Fieric is gonna be played up really far here, and Frontlash is just going to pick up this kill. He does flash the Vi Q, but Vi cannot be flashed when she has ultimate, so. Galio does flash. As you see, Mr. Matt engaging on the bot lane, too.
Oh.
And looks like Lee Sin is going to get the Q in, and Kim Peter's just going to be able to ultimate out. So trading 2 ults for just 1 on the side of Legends on top. So
Kim Peter being very patient with his ult there. I liked that play from them.
Definitely.
But also, you can feel Guy Fieric's frustration.
Yeah.
Like, he's 0-2-0 and he's just desperately attacking this Shin, not respecting the gank potential of Frontlash whatsoever, with no vision at all. So
I've been there, and I can definitely understand, because he's just getting the Shin low every time, and he just wants to finish him off, but it's like every time he does, Frontlash is just punishing that.
And it only gets worse, because we talked about Galio being a bad champion if you don't build Proto Belt, but that he couldn't build a top lane, and he's still doing it anyway. Like, now that there's a Divine Sunderer completed for St. Peter, Like this lane gets extremely difficult for Guy Fieric.
Definitely, and it's gonna be a lot harder to come back into the game. Really, just playing around the power spikes. As we see, Lee Sin does go for the Gorge Ranker, and Mr. Matt going in on the Rakan. We see the TP from the Galio. Then looks to try to get Kim Peter, but the Shin ult comes back in and is going to be able to turn it around once again, and it's going to be a 3-for-0 for Among Us, and this game is looking very, very out of control. So, definitely a little sus from Legends on top, but
yeah, a little sus indeed. I mean,
vote them out.
You just can't force like that when you don't have an item completed on Ezreal. You know that Shin ultimate is up. You have half an item on this Galio. You know, what is this play ever gonna do?
Yeah,
like,
and it's just not playing around the Shin ulti, I think, is the biggest thing. I think that play is fine if the Shin is not in the game, or if Shin is off the, like, you know, dead, or we know that his ultimate's on cooldown, but
we know his ultimate's up. So.
Yeah, and TP too, that's the other thing.
It's just like, you know, you're forcing this play.
You see Symphonia John taken down, so that is going to be a 1-for-0 so far, and it looks like Legend MK is going to get out, so that was a very solid play for them trying to claw back into this game, but they're having to claw back from a 7k gold lead. Just at 15
I
minutes.
mean, Orianna outscales, and Symphonia John is already behind, so they do have that going for them. They still have mid turret, and it's only, this is third Drake?
Yes, third Drake.
So they're facing fourth Drake at like 20,
same as last game,
3 minutes or so, 24 minutes maybe. So hopefully they'll be able to hit a nice Orianna power spike by that point, and we'll be able to take a fight at the last Drake. Or maybe go for a spicy steal, but Legends is 2 levels behind. I think this is just not good for him to be here.
Right, and he's got to hit the Lee Sin Q too, and they have it warded over the wall, so Frontlash is just going to go straight onto him. And he's going to get the Orianna Shockwave out, and Lee Sin's going to get out, but not going to be able to contest the Dragon if he's at 10 HP.
Yeah, so. I mean, that cost them Orianna Shockwave and Lee Sin Flash.
And Dragon.
And it got them nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying it was better for him to not even be there. Like, go farm top side, try to play around third Drake, but they lost a lot of their playmaking tools there, unfortunately.
So John going aggressive onto the Orianna does take her pretty low, but she is able to wave clear under the tower, and that is something that's a little bit better this time around for the Legend on top team, is the wave clear the Orianna, but still gonna be rough to stall it out when they're facing down 3 dragons. And I really just don't. I mean, in 6 minutes they have to. I mean, 5 minutes, less than that, they have to come online and try to get their full items.
Oh, so much desperation. Mr. Matt looking for the engaged Orianna.
We turned around from the Seraphine, and then the Shen ult as well, and it's just not working there. And
yeah, I mean, how does that ever work? You know, there's no Orianna ultimate up. He's just using his Flash RN ultimate for fun. But he does at least get St. Peter's ultimate there.
Yes, so it does trade out for the Shen ulti, but Shen ulti now at rank 2 is going to be on a 100-second cooldown. So very, very. I mean, it's a good timer to play around, but it's, I mean, still not the biggest window to take advantage of, especially.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when you're blowing all your playmaking potential to do so.
Right.
Like, you know, you want to try to blow Shen ultimate and then back off. You know, basically force him to ult, and then try to find a timer when you still have engaged potential. But
she
it's going to be
taken
really
very
difficult.
low. But does get out, and Guy Fieric is also going to be taken low by Kim Peter. Kim Peter just looking to walk it out here. I thought he might be looking to turn that for a second, but he might still be looking for it.
Kim Peter's
walk out in the end.
Holy shit.
So we see, looks like both teams kind of setting up the Baron area and trying to fight for vision. Lich is on his blue buff. Computer going to walk in here, try to contest the blue buff, and Lee Sin's going to get it. As we see, Computer taking a little bit of damage. Front Lash is back to full health somehow, and is in the front line. Gonna take down the Orianna, gonna take down the Rakan. Double kill for the Lucian actually, and they're gonna look to push mid here, I think, and try to crack open the mid tower, and then just take control of the game from that point.
Yeah, it just seems like Legends on top, not on this game. Kind of just getting dismantled by Among Us.
Yeah, it's just not really on the same page as far as like what their team wants to do. I think that some people are looking like some people are calling go in and we can catch, and some people are saying no, let's not do that. So it just seems to be a little bit disjointed as far as team play goes, and that's not really like an individual thing. That's just a team mentality about what needs to happen in this game. So. Definitely should look to get on the same page if they're going to come back into this game, because it's a minute and a half till Drake, and it's just looking rough thus far.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they get back in. I don't know what to do.
FPR are going to try to use everything to get away, and it's looking like Shin ult is going to come in, and Front Lash is just going to take him down. Doesn't even need the Shin ult, but I guess it teleports Shin to the dragon side of the map, so that's positive.
Oh.
Gallia says, I'm not worth money, chill the fuck out.
They're like, no, it's sending a message.
Yeah, some slight tilt there, it seems, but I mean, I would be too, so we can't really blame them.
I mean, our boy went straight damage into Shin. Like, I don't know how often that works out in Scallion, but not that often. Like, but regardless, we're looking at last Drake here. I think that if Among Us take this, it's just game over.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely hard to get back in, especially since it's the Infernal Drake now, just amplifying their already, far ahead in damage, and not necessarily comp-wise damage, but just how the state of the game, and just it's gonna be really, really tough to deal with. So they need a miracle, I think. So all team members are on the map. All ultimates are up. All flashes except they're gonna check it too. They're gonna get checked here. Oh, they see them in there, so they don't die to the death push. But Front Lash is just on the dragon, and they don't have any vision of it. It's they got to get a ward or something.
Chance here. You gotta be bold, Legends.
No, he used his Q, and they're gonna take the dragon down. They just had to walk right in, I think, after they saw him in the death push.
There's that the percentages of them actually getting that Drake are extremely low. So.
Yeah.
And losing the fight means losing Baron. So.
Yeah, definitely. So they just have to keep trying to stall it out, I think. Yeah, they're probably going to need a colossal throw to come back. It's really just in the hands of Among Us, and whether they end this cleanly or if they do throw, because they're very much in the driver's seat in this game now.
Yeah, I mean, all they need to do now is have St. Peter bottom, split pushing with ultimate, and winning the 1v1 very handily. Keep mid priority, establish Baron vision, and go threaten Baron.
Right.
Force LoT to walk into their vision control, and the game's over. They turn so effectively with the Vi ultimate and the Shin ultimate in tandem, so there aren't really a lot of ways. Although they're looking for a pick here on the Symphonia John.
Dude, that is a good way to start, is just picking off this Lucian. So looks like he's gonna eat all the damage and pop his shield bow, and then the Shin ult is gonna come in. Doesn't hit anybody with the taunt. Symphonia John gonna go down to Legend MK, looking to get the W out, but does take the Seraphine ult in return. So jungler down, the mid laner.
We're going deep.
Diving. They're just so tanky. The two tanky boys of Shin and Vi. I mean, well, Vi not a boy, but whatever. And Kid Peter just diving onto the Ezreal, just soloing him under his inhibitor tower. casually. He's kind of stuck there now, though. But the tower does go down, and the minions save his life. So he's going to be able to get out. And they're just going to look to take the dragon. They have full health jungler. They have the Kaisa. They're gonna be able to take the dragon here, and not really much Guy Fieri can do about it.
I mean, honestly, I love the play from LoT. Like, I think that's the only way back into the game. Like, Shin Ultimate was up, but it still looked pretty close. But sadly, Shin bought enough time for Vi to get there.
Right.
And with Vi and Shin there, no fight looks close anymore.
Definitely. I think that was the play that they had to do, was just trying to look for somebody caught out and then maybe contest the Baron in a 4v5. Because I mean, it's going to be hard to even beat them 4v5 just at the state of the game, but it's a lot more it's a lot better percentage chance than 5v5. So it was the right play. It just didn't quite go out in their favor. So can't really fault them for that one. And we're gonna see the grip tighten from Among Us here. They're gonna send the Shin in top lane. They're gonna send the rest of the team mid with the Baron, and just look to choke him out. Or they're just gonna force it, and Kim Peter's just gonna go in and explode the Orianna, and then look to take down the Ezreal and the Rakan too. And and this is gonna look to be Among Us just cleaning up everybody. And Legends is probably gonna go down to the Vi here too, and that's gonna be a clean ace. And they're going to look to end here. So.
Yeah, a nice game from Among Us. You know, what can you say?
I mean, they only had 3 deaths total.
Looking really good this game as a duo.
So, yeah, definitely very, very, very solid game out of Among Us. Taking the 2-0 here. And the second game was a definite...
Stop.
Yes, it was a decisive win. The first game was very back and forth with lots of oh well, I can't even see the post-match screen. Okay, well.
Yep, mine also lagged out again.
Thanks for that, client.
Get the defeat.
Well, that's the right client for you, but so
won't
be able to see any of the stats. Just check the stats for yourself at the end of once they get posted in the stats channel or something, guys. But so we're gonna get the straw poll going, and we're gonna talk through who we think are the MVPs for Game 2 for Among Us. Who you got? Who you looking at?
It's either St. Peter or Frontlash. I think that it's St. Peter. This game, his ultimates were just on point every time. He was where he needed to be every time. You could say the same thing for Frontlash too, but St. Peter also just kind of dominated that past 15 minutes. It felt like there was nothing Guy Fieri could do.
Yeah, definitely did have the counter pick there in top lane for the Galio, and just I think that I would probably give it to Frontlash just for his impact on the whole of the map. I think that St. Peter came online a little bit later, and his ult started turning around fights. But I think that Frontlash created a lot of pressure for mid and top. And bot lane just kind of got ahead by themselves, but I think that his pressure in mid and top is really what kind of led to their really, really, really solid early game. So that's who I would call for, but I could see either. And I mean, honorable mention again to Kim Peter as well, and even Tambourine King with the ults onto Seraphine. Everybody really played well that game, even Symphonia John.
Yeah, I thought it was a strong game from everyone.
Yep. So, all in all, just a good game from Among Us. So I could see any of them getting MVP here, and I can understand any arguments being made for that. So, there's the straw poll in chat. Go ahead and throw your votes in there, and we will get this show rolling. We still got an hour and a half until the next, or hour and 20 minutes until the next BMLCS game. So we are gonna be able to do a post game interview for those. Looks like a game one MVP was Tambourine King, I do believe. Let me go back and check that real quick.
Hog champion for Tambourine King.
I think. Let me double check because I don't want to be,
Oh, are they in the running for playoffs now? Still? I think so.
I think so. I don't. The stats sheet hasn't been updated through last week, so I'll have to look. And does anybody know what among us? Anybody from your team? What was your record or your score last week versus? Let's see. What did y'all do versus RBG? What was it? Let me go see if it's in the stats chat. LCS stats.
All right. Let's see who got it for game 2.
RBG won 2-0 last week, so that would put Among Us at this week they would be 8-10, and definitely still in the hunt for playoffs. I think that playoffs is going to be top 6, so they definitely need a 2-0 next week over TFT to at least to make it more close, but. I don't really know where the rest of the teams stand, but I think that they are still in the conversation. They need a Corn Hub's on a bye, so they can't get that. But it's going to be rough for them. What happened with they need WAP or TFT to lose 0-2. I think more likely they need WAP to lose 0-2 to TFT, and then they also need to beat TFT 0-2 and Simp to a WAP again. So they need WAP to get onto the same wins as them and get or get a worse record. I think that WAP losing out or possibly TFT as well losing out will help them greatly, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool for them that they're still in it. Still part of the equation.
Yeah, definitely in the conversation. It's going to be. They need a lot of things to go right, but if they keep playing like that against a team that is not exactly it has the same record as them, I believe, it will be very good for them. All right. Looking at this game 2 MVP, looking like Frontlash has the lead, 62 votes. We have 22 viewers, so I'll leave it out there for a couple more seconds. But get your votes in, people, and we will close this thing up shortly and try to call this thing and get people in the player of the game chat. So. Tambourine King, if you want to go ahead and jump in player of the game since you were game 1 MVP, and then we can have the coach as well. I mean, not the coach, the captain as well for Among Us. And Pony and John, you can go ahead and hop in there. And if captain for Legends on Top wants to come in, Mr. Matt, you can hop in as well. We can have the whole party here. Get everybody in. Player of the game 1. Where we're going to be. So, all right. Oh,
nice.
10 votes in. I think that we're going to call it. It's
for
looking
Frontlash,
like Frontlash has got 8 votes. St. Peter actually got 3 votes now, so 11 votes, and looks like Frontlash is game 2 MVP. So we will move down to player of the game 1 chat, and we'll get this interview going. Hello. Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Welcome. So, gotta say, GG's getting the 2-0.
Yeah, nice series, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Just go ahead and anybody, your captain or either of you guys want to say, go kind of talk about your mindset and approach for just kind of coming into the match and kind of what your game plan was for taking on Legends on top.
Well, after last week, we played RBG last week and got 2-0'd. We, in the second game, decided to put Front Lash in the jungle. We had experimented with it in practice before, but up until that point, with the Fiora and the Kale and all that working out, we didn't want to move it. And then people started to come up with ways to get rid of it, or either they ban it out, they deal with it, or in the preseason, some of the picks aren't as strong. So we played with it. Overall, that game felt a lot better, and so we decided ahead of time, okay, let's go with that this week, and we're just going to play to our strength, which is our macro, and that's kind of just what happened. So, yeah,
Definitely,
we all did what we needed to do and what we planned on, and it ended up working out.
So
sure.
in game 1, we saw a little bit of a different comp than game 2. We had the Anivia Misfortune, and then the Morgana as well. Tambourine King landed a lot of binds there. Talk about how you kind of approached the fights and this overall lane with your boy Kim Peter, and what you were what you were thinking about your picks in game 1.
So love playing with Kim Peter. That guy's the greatest. As far as they picked Leona and Morgana. I would say counters that at lower elos. At higher elos, it's more of a chess match. But I feel like Black Shield kind of dissuades them from wanting to go in. And then I was just looking for bindings every time it was on cooldown. And I hit a decent amount of them, I guess, because I one player of the game. So.
Definitely, there were a lot of times setting up those picks. Definitely in the mid game, starting off the fights. But we have a question in chat as well from Bicer or Spooped. What was up with the Lucian mid last pick?
Honestly, I think we're asking ourselves the same thing. Pretty sure he was every death that game for our team.
clearly, whatever the thought was didn't work out because I had every death that game. No, we were waiting to see what they were going to pick and see if there was some way that I could get Lucian in there. And when they went with the Galio, we knew that that was going to be their only tank, so we didn't really have to worry about mixing up AP and AD as much.
Definitely.
So
let's talk about this Vi pick then. So it comes out both games from Front Lash. And so was this the first game or first match that you guys have? I didn't get to see you guys match last week, but is this the first match that's Front Lash has been jungle for you guys, or has that been a more
I've done it a few times this season.
Gotcha.
We tried it week 2 in one game. That was before preseason changes, and we were still getting Fiora top. So
gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. So talk about kind of your mindset playing. Just I can kind of understand game 2 is if it's not broke or whatever, but just talk about the Vi pick in game 1 and what you thought about the matchups of Sejuani and Lee Sin.
We knew going in, especially against Sejuani. I have a lot of experience on Vine from the time that I have played. I know that when you're up against Sedge, not that we knew we were going to be up against it, because that was their last pick that draft, but especially when I saw it, you don't really want to fight Sejuani unless you have a bit of a lead, because it's kind of a wet noodle fight, and Sejuani can just stall until help can arrive. Sejuani ends up just kind of being this extra tank with some prolonged crowd control. So Vi kind of just ignores Sejuani if she can help it and just focuses down the squishies.
Gotcha. Any questions from you, Violet?
Let's see. What was the reasoning for the Anivia first pick, game 1?
It's something that's really strong that can be safe in lane. It is something we want to take away from Legends, knowing how strong it is and just really hard to play into. And even though I had a little bit of difficulty keeping up in farm on it, it still kept me from feeding a little bit too hard on Fizz and then making Fizz a problem in the game. So
yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
Definitely with the egg passive coming in there, a lot easier to survive and dissuade some dives. So looking forward, then you guys have now. You have to play. I don't know exactly what everybody's record is. We need to get the at least the win losses updated on the stat sheet. But you guys are playing TFT next week. That is don't remember. That is Bear Jr.'s team with Zan, Bear Jr., Jingo Unchained, Jirachi, and Gerg7. Kind of talk about what your maybe kind of early thoughts are for playing against that team. Don't have to give away any strategy, obviously, but are you expecting a solid matchup or kind of just your general thoughts?
we actually scrimmed them before the season started. I remember we won both scrim games, but other than that, I don't really remember too much. And now with Bear Jr. switching to mid lane, it could be a lot different anyway. I'd have to go back and look at what they've been doing the past weeks. But I mean, just as a team kind of thing, I think we're just going to keep going forward with what our plan was this week and just, rely on our macro play. And then see what key lanes we need to target for whether it's we need jungle help in that or we need to just let those lanes kind of be on their own.
Gotcha, for sure. So, any other questions from chat? We'd love to entertain. We have 3 great gentlemen here. We would love to say everything. Any final thoughts from you guys? I don't think anybody's going to post anything because they hate this part of the show, but whatever. Start with you, support guy. What's your any final thoughts at all, Mr. Morgana and Seraphine Man? No. Yes.
I guess going back to Morgana in the first game, you kind of, I mean, we had objective control as far as it had to walk into us, so I guess we wait for the fight to start, and then I would just ult on as many people as I could, and then my team would clean up, and then I would try to bind people as they're trying to escape. I don't know. That's kind of how I viewed that. If I had to...
So, question in chat for Tambourine King: why do you love Belle Delphine?
For the record, I do not love Belle Delphine.
Who doesn't?
I mean, fair enough.
You didn't
I
buy her
guess.
bathwater?
No. In fact, I think Seraphine looks a little bit like Belle Delphine. So I'm the one selling the bathwater when I play that champion.
Yes. Come get my bathwater. Full party Seraphine win, and she just throws water down as her cue.
Oh God. She's got cat ears too.
He showed me that Belle Delphine link, by the way. I don't know, man. Chat's turned against you on this one.
They really are. I'm getting targeted
like there's
here.
An imposter among us. Sorry, among us. Yeah. So, any final thoughts, Captain or Front Lash? Throw anything out. Anything you want to say to the people of the PMALCS? We're gonna get out of here.
No, thanks everyone for coming and watching. Tuning in and seeing 20 viewers watching the stream. That means a lot. And thank you guys for streaming the match in the first place. So it really means a lot.
Yeah.
We tried not to.
Oh, yeah.
Those game 1 fights were very coin flipping. We tried to. It was a little. I don't usually play by play, so it's a little rough. But enjoy watching.
You know me. I just try not to be too toxic. It's just in my nature.
That's fair.
No, I was a great game for you guys. I was really impressed especially with game 2.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's going to do it here. What time is the match later? Hey. Thank you
At
for setting
8.
me up. We have a match in an hour. Going to be my team, Hope City Goddesses, taking on SIMP. Can't say that word on stream anymore because Riot Games. Okay.
Riot Games, what?
Not Riot Games, Twitch. My brain. All right, Scuttle is main priority. We're taking them on. It's at 11 Eastern on this channel. So, yeah. I keep just saying that S word, and I'm gonna get us banned, and it's gonna be all my fault.
You just got interrupted mid-sentence. You were going to say that simply come watch.
Yeah, simply come watch. Shrimp versus HCG. 11 Eastern. So I think that's going to do it. And we had me and Violet Sociocat on the chat, and Game 1 MVP, Tambourine King, Game 2 MVP, Front Lash, Among Us 2-0. We're going to get out of here. Come back and join us in an hour. Thanks.